As the season slowly comes to an end, the award races are heating up, specifically the Cy Young races, as in each league there hasn't really been a clear-cut runaway favorite. And today I want to look at the American League Cy Young race, specifically looking at one candidate who I think is being slept on heavily. And obviously, as you know by now, we're talking about Dylan Cease, and I want to look at his career up to this point and how he got to where he is today, and whether I think he should be the American League Cy Young favorite. So let's get right into the video. Now, starting from the beginning, let's rewind back to 2014. Dylan Cease was a pretty solid prospect coming out of high school. While he wasn't towards the top of his class, he was expected to be drafted in the middle to early rounds. And in the 6th round, this expectation finally came to life as Cease was selected by the Chicago Cubs. Now, after being drafted, Cease would go on to pitch very well in the minor leagues, where by 2017 he would find himself in the top 100 prospects in baseball. He was one of the Cubs' top pitching prospects at this time, but with the Cubs in win-now mode, they were looking to ship off some of their young assets. And prior to the 2017 trade deadline, Cease was in fact traded to the Chicago White Sox as he was a part of the Jose Quintana deal. This deal would send Quintana to the Cubs, where they got a very good pitcher who could help them potentially win a World Series that year, and the White Sox got some young talent in Cease and Eloy Jimenez. And after being traded to the White Sox, Cease would continue to dominate in the minor leagues. In fact, by 2019, Cease was one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball, as he was the number 21 ranked prospect in the game. And later that season in 2019, Cease would ultimately end up getting called up to the big leagues. Now, his debut season wasn't great, as in 73 innings he had a 5.79 ERA. He struggled to make the adjustment to the big leagues, but it was such a small sample size and there was no reason to worry about Cease. Now, Cease followed up a bumpy 2019 season by improving massively in 2020, where in 58 innings he had a 4.01 ERA. He was by no means great, but he still made massive improvements from his rookie season, and it was clear he was making big strides. And this leads us into 2021, where expectations were high for Dylan Cease. He was expected to take another big leap forward. And while he was up and down a bit at times, overall he had a very good season. This was his first full season in the big leagues, as in 166 innings he had a 3.91 ERA to go along with 226 strikeouts. The ERA wasn't necessarily as low as you would like to see it, as it only went down 10 points from 2020, but he made massive improvements and he was missing lots of bats as he got plenty of strikeouts. And this leads us into 2022, where Dylan Cease was expected to be one of the best pitchers in the American League after such a good 2021 campaign. And so far, he has exceeded those expectations and then some. So far, in 162 innings, Cease has a 2.06 ERA to go along with 206 strikeouts. On top of that, he has a 5.7 WAR, which is third in all of baseball when looking at pitchers, as he's only behind Sandy Alcantara and Shohei Ohtani if you even want to count him. And at this point in the season, there's no denying the fact that he's a top 2 Cy Young candidate in the American League. Shane McClanahan was definitely the frontrunner for the majority of the season, but he's gotten injured, and even before the injury, he wasn't pitching very great. Justin Verlander in the past month or so, in my opinion, has been the clear front runner, but he did get injured recently and he has been out. And while he might still be in the lead, Cease has definitely gained some ground as he's been pitching out of his mind as of late. Just a few starts ago, he nearly no-hit the Twins, who have a pretty solid offense in my opinion. He made them look like a minor league team, and unfortunately he was 1 out away and did let up a base hit to Luis Arraez. But Cease has just been dominant all season long, especially after the All-Star break where he was snubbed from the All-Star team. And he might be one of the biggest All-Star snubs in recent memory. I can't remember a bigger All-Star snub. I mean, he could very well win the Cy Young Award, and I can't remember the last time the Cy Young winner missed the All-Star game. He had a 2.15 earned run average at the break, so I really don't know how he didn't make it. But going back to the Cy Young race, at this point I think it's a 2-man race between Verlander and Cease. Right now I still think I have to give the slight edge to Justin Verlander, but I do think Cease can take the Cy Young Award. If he pitches very well over the next couple weeks and gets the White Sox in the postseason, then I do think he should win the award. But whether he wins the Cy Young Award or not, it has still been a remarkable season for Cease. In a very dark season for the White Sox, Cease has been one of the lone bright spots. And one other quick stat I want to read off here that really just shows how dominant Dylan Cease has been all season long is the fact that he had 14 straight starts at one point where he allowed no more than 1 run. So Dylan Cease has been special this year. It's been a season to remember for him, and you have to give a lot of credit to the stash as well. That thing's going to be staying around for a while, especially with how good he's pitched this year, and I think it might be one of the best stashes in baseball, up there with Spencer Strider. But anyways, that's going to wrap today's video up. Let me know what you guys think of Dylan Cease down below. As always, I want to thank you guys again so much for watching and continuing to support, and I'll see you next time.